Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joey, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now today, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 meta builds for the Mitre Incarnon. Now, this is a solid weapon. I think it would be much higher regarded amongst Incarnons if the Incarnon had a bigger magazine, because the Incarnon does only have a 20 round mag. I think if the mag was maybe say 60 rounds or 40 rounds, maybe this would get a lot more attention, but it just really doesn't have that much. But still usable in its own right. I have some builds for you guys today. Now, first things first is I have the Incarnon traits for you guys. Now, the first trait we have here is I'm using this one with channeled ability active. You get fire rate. Now, this is the thing I want to preface is if you're going to use this weapon and you're not going to use the Incarnon form, go for this one. But if you do want to use the Incarnon form, this is going to mess up basically your mag, and you're going to go from having 20 bullets to having 6, because it's going to shoot so many bullets at once. You're only going to get 6 shots off before the entire Incarnon is gone. So I just want to preface that. That's why I'm using this, because these are going to involve the Incarnon form, so just wanted to mention that here. For the second, I like the projectile speed, since the shot in the Incarnon form and the regular form are projectile, so it's nice, but you could go for either of these if you so want to. And then for the first 2 builds, we are going to be using critical parallel. Now, there's no pure status on this, which is kind of sad because this weapon does get an insane amount of status chance. You can see even with just this 12% boost, we're up to 68% status chance, and this also does pure heat damage, which is really, really nice. So what we're going to be having today is I'm going to show you guys the first build. Now, this first build, this is a blast build. Very, very simply put together. It's a radial weapon, so we don't go for aptitude. We have serration, chamber, bane of Grenier for those double dips on those dots. We have CC plus CD because this weapon still gets solid enough crit. We're almost at 100%. And we get an 8.5x critical damage multiplier, which is really, really solid. So yeah, like I said, CC, CD, and then we just have our blast damage, and I am running Blast Toxin. Now, you very well can opt for... Where is it here? You can go for this instead if you so want to. I just like the dot tick if I don't kill the enemies. Or if I go up against an enemy that has pure HP and like shields, this will just go right through it. So it could be nice for that regard, but this mod is flex. Like I said, you could put whatever you want here. You can go for the Elementalist mod there if you so feel like it. Now we have terminal velocity on here for projectile speed. As I said, there's a projectile. Now the thing to note about this is this will increase the projectile speed of the initial shot, but this weapon has a ricochet, and this will not increase the speed of the ricochet itself. It will only increase the speed of the initial shot you're shooting at the enemy. So this is why I have this on here. And then we have primary merciless. Now I'm going to show you guys this build real fast. Really easy to charge the Incarnon. And you can see now as we get our stacks up, we're doing a lot of damage really, really quickly. Now, like you can see, I only have 11 bullets left in my Incarnon form, which is like why this gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes, because you don't really have all that many shots in the Incarnon form. Though, charging the Incarnon really isn't all that bad. Like, I didn't charge either of those shots, I just shot twice, and now I have it back. You could opt to use this with like Zatas, and it'll look like this. You know, we're just getting so many ticks there with the double dipping from Zatas and the double dip from our Bane. Just does so much damage. So this is one way you guys can do it if you really want to make it like super powerful. This is pretty impressive. This is like, you know, if you can wipe out, you know, that many enemies with 1 bullet, that's solid. You don't really need the biggest magazine in a sense, but still it would be nice to have a much larger mag. So now that I showed you guys the first build, we're going to be moving over to the second build here. Now this one is just flat heat. Like I said, this does raw heat damage, so we're just going to go for raw heat here. We have Serration, Bane, Chamber, Status Damage mod. We run CC, CD. As I said, it still gets really solid critical stats. And then I just have Fire Rate with Heat status chance mod here to get us over 100% and increase the heat value slightly. Now I have terminal velocity once again, and I have primary merciless on here. Now, once again, you can see, very easy to charge up. And now, in a sense, it turns into a nice heat stacking weapon. And you can see when you shoot it, say I shoot at this enemy here, you can see the bullet ricocheting around and applying, you know, massive amounts of heat. Like, I didn't even shoot those guys with it. I didn't come close to shooting those guys, and it still ticks them. Like, look, you still see we're getting 157k heat ticks. So this one still works really well too. It's not as instant kill as the blast one, so you may feel like you have to go like this, but you don't. It just takes time for the projectiles to make their way around. I find it better to just shoot maybe like 1 to 2 shots, let your projectile seek. You can pretty much tell who it's going to hit and who it's not going to hit. Everything in this pack's going to get hit, but these guys in the corner aren't getting hit. You just shoot again, let them all tick up. So this works well too. You could also just straight stack the heat if that's what you want to do. But this is a fun way to do it. Now for this final build, this build is legit just a raw damage build. I swapped the Incarnon evolution over to Commodore's Fortune so we can get the big crit buff. Now our crit's at 127%. Now we also have Galvanized Scope on here to increase it even further. Pretty much the same build, Chamber Serration, Bane, and then we have CCCD Scope, Corrosive on the 60/60s since we have solid status chance. And then we have Terminal Velocity and Primary Merciless on here once again. Now I will show you guys how this one does. This one is, like I said, this one's more the raw damage build. So you can see it does a lot still. It still kills all the enemies off, but it's not the dot builds. Both of them work really well, or I guess all 3 of them you could say really work well, but it's up to you which one you want to do. For me, I prefer the status builds, but this is still respectful in its own right. I wouldn't say this is bad by any means. This is quite impressive, so. You can see it just all bounces around. It's really, really nice, and then you could just shoot them in the head and get your charge back up really easily. And even the non-incarnate form is really solid on this weapon if you wanted to go for a build for that. So I just wanted to showcase this today. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Leave a like. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.